How to master interview questions for help desk, system administrator, system engineer, infrastructure engineer, and desktop support engineer roles. Hey, my name is Reza, and in this video, I am going to walk you through interview questions from real world scenarios with some answers. Who am I? My name is Reza. I've got more than 10 years experience in IT support area, specifically 2 years as a help desk, 3 years as a systems engineer, 1 year as a desktop support engineer, and 5 years as a level 2 IT engineer. I will deep dive into each name's differences and the main responsibilities. But before that, let's see what is the agenda for today's video. Firstly, I'm going to talk about what is incident and what is task. In terms of incident analysis, what points we can consider, like isolating the issue, differentiate between whether it's a user object or computer object related incident. Is it client-side issue or server-side issue? And the third topic that I'm going to talk about is task scenarios from real world, like application installation, device configuration, system maintenance, and so on. And the last topic that I will briefly talk about is projects containing plan, design, and implementation. If you are interested in each section, like projects or task scenarios or incident analysis, please comment below and ask your questions or share your opinion with me. And then if you want, I can create more videos about that. You may find in some advertisement job titles like help desk, level 1 support, level 2 support, system administrator, system engineer, desktop support, infrastructure engineer, and so on. In some companies, it is clear what is the difference between these job titles, but in some other companies, the job title is not the main point. Basically, the responsibilities and the tasks that you need to carry or the skills that you need to have define what you need to do. So it's not only about the job title. So that's why it's better to check the responsibilities for each job title in their job description. Now before going to the main points, I'm just gonna say congratulations if you are invited for an interview. That means the employer, hiring manager, or HR interested in your CV and they would like to know more about you, your personality, your technical skills, your soft skills. So you are in a good situation. You just need to know how to master the interview and how to deliver to them your skills, your experience, and your keenness to the job. That is why before the interview, it's better to focus on your skills, your experience, read thoroughly the job description, review your CV, and align and match your skills and experience with the job requirements. And then after the interview, you can follow with call, emails, and other channels like LinkedIn and stuff, just to show your interest to the hiring managers. Cool. Basically, in level 1 support or help desk, we say the basic thing is incident analysis. In this phase, you need to isolate the issue and find out what is the root cause. Let's first take a look at the incident definition. An incident is an unplanned interruption. That is what it's highlighted, unplanned interruption to a service or reduction in the quality of a service. I know it seems a bit theoretical. Don't worry, we will deep dive into technical stuff, but understanding the theory or agreed or standard definition will help you to deliver to the interviewer your ideas. So in incident analysis, you need to show that you are confident. How you can do that? Let's say you receive a phone call, you receive an email, and somebody telling you over the phone, hey, I've got an incident, my computer is not working, or my system is broken. If your interviewer asks you, if somebody calls you and say my application is not working, what do? Before deep dive into the technical aspect, you need to show them that you are confident. How you can do that? You can ask some basic questions, not to solve the issue, but to understand the issue. Questions like this: when the incident occurred, has anyone else experiencing the same issue? What has been changed? Well, sometimes user might update the operating system or the applications or the driver, or even you as a system admin might be updated the application for them, and that causes some interruption in their accessibility to the service. Or maybe somebody in the office done some changes on the device, suddenly decided to play with the reset button on the access point, on the router, on the switch, turned it off and on, or some electricity outage happened. It's better always ask and get some help from the client asking like, do you know what has been changed recently? And another question that you can ask, do you see any error message? And if they say yes, you can ask them, can you please send us the screenshot of the error message? Asking these questions will help you to show your interviewer and your client that you are confident that you can categorize the incident. By asking these questions, you can find out, is it a critical issue or is it a low incident? And then you can prioritize based on this. We will go into the real world scenario. How you can isolate the incident? Basically, we've got two types of object: computer object and user account object. When you hear about an incident, you can ask this question: is this issue related to a user account object? Issues like credentials issue, is the username is correct? Is the password is correct? Is the password not expired? Is the account is locked or not? Asking these questions, can you please try incognito mode? Can you please try on another account or another computer or another device? So the second object is computer object, and we can divide this computer object to two categories: client side or server side. Yes, you may receive a call, hey, I can't print. You need to isolate the issue and find out, is only one person cannot print? That print issue is related to one computer, or the print server has got issues, so anyone has the same issue. So if it's related to computer issue, you will find that whether it's client side or server side. You can check the connectivity between the computers and some other network gears and devices like switch, router, firewall, and stuff like that. And to isolate it, you can easily ask to try on another computer. Okay, can you print from another machine? Can anyone else can print from other devices? Can you check your email on your mobile phone? Asking these questions will help you to isolate the issue. There are 3 points on a computer that you can find out to see if the issue is related to them, like services. We will again check this real scenario or registry keys. Any registry key changed, added, modified? Any file paths created or deleted or corrupted? Any services stopped running or changed the status from automatically to dynamically? So considering services, registry keys, and file paths will help you as well to isolate the incident. And before doing any change, you can again ask, okay, this computer has got some print issue or application issue. Before starting doing changes and fixing it, you need to ask yourself, is there any backup for this asset? If I smash it and if I broke it, will I be able to restore from backup? So that's another point that you can consider. If yes, then you can go through. And you can also do a test on a small portion of device or on a single asset or on a test device rather than doing the bulk operation on all assets on all servers. Right. Considering these points, you can either solve the incident or issue, which is fine. If you can fix it, that's brilliant. If you can't fix it, you need to escalate it to the next level of support rather than keeping the incident or issue with yourself for days and weeks. That's not good at all. Okay. So now let's take a look at some real world scenarios. You receive a phone call, somebody over the phone says, hey, I cannot print. By considering the previous page or previous slide, you will ask, okay, is it related to a user account issue? No, because user already signed into the computer. They can do other works. They can connect to their emails, to the internet. They can do other works. So that proves that the issue is not related to a user account issue. Yes, it is related to computer object, but based on the questions that you ask, because everyone else can print, only this user cannot print. So it's a computer side issue for that specific user. So it goes on the P4 or P3, depend upon the user. If it's a VIP person, yes, you might consider as even P2 high. Let's say the CEO can't print. And then now you will start finding the issue. If the connectivity from the computer to the printer server is fine, if the cables are connected and if you can ping it, that means good, connectivity is fine. I said other computers can print, no worries. And you can check the services. If the print spooler service is not running, that is a problem. You can restart this service. If the printer status is offline, you can change it to online. And make sure to update the driver, delete and re-add the printer. So it's basically on this graphic I just highlighted. Yes, the issue is computer object. We checked the connectivity. We restarted the printer spooler service. We change the printer status from offline to online, or we make sure it's already online. And we 100% sure that the driver of the printer is already updated. And we re-added the printer. We restarted the computer. Yes, it can print. That's brilliant. You can close the ticket. But after, after doing all these, still it's not working. You need to document what steps you have taken and pass it to the next level of support. And they don't waste their time starting from scratch because they know you already done some brilliant stuff, you've taken some steps, and they can continue troubleshooting. So that's a good scenario. If interviewer asks you, if somebody calls you and say, I cannot print, what do you say? What steps you do? You can easily say these steps. And also remember, it's not only for printing. You can do the same theory for other incidents as well. Let's take a look at another incident. And again, we see it's an unplanned interruption to a service. User suddenly cannot print. Okay, you will ask these questions or you will tell your interviewer these points before starting to fix the issue. If you say, oh, I cannot print, you can find out by asking some questions and testing to whether it's a credentials issue, is the username is correct, is the password is correct, is the account is not locked, is the password has not expired, case sensitivity, and all these kind of stuff is fine. And you can test it by trying on another device. Let's say you can ask user, can you please check if you can access to your email on your mobile phone? Or from the computer, you can remote connect and set and see the connectivity. You can ping Google DNS 8.8.8.8.8.8. If you get a response, that means cool. You connected to internet. There is no internet connectivity issue. You receive the emails on your mobile phone, so it's the computer issue again. And it's not a server-side issue because other users are able to receive and send emails based on the questions that you asked. So these are the scenarios that I'm explaining. Yep, as I said, you can ask user to check a browser, a web version of an email incognito mode to just get rid of the, cached credentials issue. Update the Office applications to the latest version. And if all of these not working, then try recreating the Outlook profile. And if this doesn't work, then there is a brilliant tool, which I've used it a lot when I was working as a system administrator. Microsoft Support and Recovery Assistant tool. I will click on that. And as you can see, it's got some tabs for Office applications like Excel crashing, setting up, activating account, Office sign-in issue, and specifically for Outlook scenario saying that my Outlook is not starting. And by downloading the troubleshoot modules and signing into your Outlook, you can fix all these stuffs. Right. Now, after using this tool, if the issue still persists, again, documents what you have done and type it in the ticket and pass it to the next level of support. If you fixed it, you can close the ticket, ask the user to get their confirmation that the issue has been resolved. Now let's take a look at another topic, tasks, or we call it service request. For incidents, some of the incidents level 1 support or help desk can remediate or fix, but some of the issues, if related to bunch of users or portion of users or a department or maybe whole office or organization, level 2 support maybe can fix. So those are the incidents that we discussed. But now let's take a look at the tasks. What is task? Tasks basically refers to a request from a user or customer for information, advice, or access to a particular service. It is a non-incident related request that involves the provision of a predefined service with a specific outcome. Again, this definition is agreed by as a standard definition by ITIL framework. So as you mentioned, as you see here, the most important thing is basically the task that you're doing is a request for a service or for information or for device. Now take a look at for any task, before doing the tasks, we need to make sure that we understand the requirements. You can ask these questions from the interviewer or from whosoever wants to ask you to do something, to do a task. You can first ask, has it been logged through an agreed channel? If you're using a ticketing system, that needs to be logged. And this service request, does it need to get an approval from a relevant manager? Does it require a financial approval as well? So these are all defined in your system, but knowing these type of points will make you confident before deep dive into the task. Somebody say, okay, I need access to a folder. It's not good best practice to say, okay, done. You've got access to the folder. No, that's not a good practice. Before giving the access, before doing the task, you need to ask this question. Has it been logged? Has it been documented? Does it require an approval from the owner of that particular folder, for example? If everything say yes, and if you want to do some sort of request or task, let's say you want to upgrade a server, SQL server, to another type of database, you need to log a change request. Or basically any source of changes in the environment, you need to follow the change request. In the change request, you know, you've got a backup plan, you know, you explain what you are doing, what you are trying to do, what happens, what will happen if things go wrong, how you can revert back, what is the plan to take actions, who needs to approve it, when it's gonna be happen, and all sorts of stuff comes on the change request. That is why it's very important to consider change request for the task that require it. And then prioritize the task. Let's say you need to spin up a server to give everybody access to a particular application. This task is a high priority rather than a user asking, hey, I need to install Spotify on my computer to listen to music. Yes, it is a task, and you can acknowledge it as a task, but it's not, it doesn't have that priority as the ones that I mentioned previously. So, and again, sorry, this shouldn't be here. What is the error message? I'll try to highlight it. And what is the service request examples in the real world? Software installation. If it's for one user, that's no worries at all. But if it's for more than one user or for all clients, then you need to think about the bulk operation, which we will talk in details. Some other service requests like hardware requests. I need a mobile phone. We need another laptop for our new starters. Things like that. These are comes under task or service request. Access to some folders or some applications. comes under access permissions. We've got a new starter. Can you please create a new account? These falls under service account. Service configuration changes, give more access to that particular service account, or reduce or remove access from some particular service accounts, things like that. Again, and all of the above tasks, you can think about automating them by using PowerShell. It's not ideal to install an application on 100 users' computer manually. You can use group policy, PowerShell, SCCM, and for any other tasks. You can try as much as you can automate or semi-automate them. Now it's time to take a look at some real-world scenarios for service tasks. Let's say you receive a service request about installing an Adobe Reader application on all computers. Definitely you need to have managed deployment solutions like SCCM, Intune, Alteryx deployment, Ninja, Datto, Manage Engine, any other solution. What I do is basically, if I categorize, you need to do some stuff pre-deployment, like figure out if the device has got free space. And you need to find out what is the detection method for existence of that application on the machine. So basically 3 methods: register keys, services, and file paths. And then you can test the deployment by manually installing the Adobe Reader on your computer to see what is the behavior. Is it opening up for license approval or license agreement, sorry? Does it require computer restart after the installation? If you monitor these installation behavior, you can make a note and figure out how you can surpass these windows pop-up or minimize the user interaction. And after the deployment, you need to monitor the compliance on how many assets is actually installed and if the services are running correctly. I categorized that into 3 main points. This will help you, I'm sure, help you in the interview. Okay, how you want to install Adobe Reader or XYZ application via SCCM? Basically, you can, after testing the application manually on your computer or on a test machine, you can say, well, to install the application by SCCM, there are 3 main steps. Number 1, packaging the application. It's straightforward. You can spin up a lab in Azure, AWS, or any other cloud service provider. Spin up a SCCM console and package any application that you want. MSI type of applications are very easy to package, but for the EXE format, you need to figure out the switches, related switches from the vendor website. Let's say you package the application. Now you need to create a collection of devices. I highly recommend in this step, just add 1 or 2 devices, not all devices, just 1 or 2 devices to the collection. So you package the application, you created the collection. In step number 3, you need to deploy the package to the collections, which you deploy to the only test collection. And you figure out, okay, I deployed it to 2 machines and both of them Adobe has been installed without any user interface, or with user interface, then you need to communicate by sending an email to users. Now, let's say you're gonna install an application on all computers that requires a computer restart. What do you do? You need to liaise with your manager and with your team and draft a communication and send it to everybody, because that will impact everybody's. It will impact their session. Let's say they are in the meeting. You don't want to restart the computer. You can give them an opportunity to install the application on their convenient time, and they can reset their machine. So all of this scenario based on my personal experience, and I hope it will be useful for you. So in case if things not based on your experience, please forgive me. Now let's take a look at, I said briefly, I will talk about projects as well. Projects mostly falls on the level 3 engineer or infrastructure engineer. But in some companies, system engineer, level 2 engineers, or even maybe help desk guys or folks can do the projects. Again, let's take a look at the project definition. A temporary structure that is created for the purpose of delivering one or more products according to an agreed business case. Now, here is the important part. It says the focus of project is to deliver outputs, either products or other deliverables, within defined parameters of time, cost, and quality. So if we define a project, we can't make it in progress forever. We need to meet the deadline. That is why we need to deliver the outcome. Again, we need to make sure. If somebody asks me in the interview, have you done any project? Which of course I've done. I will tell them before starting the project, I will make sure the project has been approved by business. I will come up with a plan, design, implementation, maintaining, and support documentation. And I will define either this project can be in the agile framework or in the waterfall or traditional format. I will communicate the progress within my team and external vendors and stakeholders, because project is a teamwork. Single person can't do the whole project successfully. So what are the examples of projects? Let's say you're going to install a network monitoring tool like PRTG on your company. You want to install a tools that assess or manage the vulnerabilities in your environment. You want to install a system that manage the email signatures automatically so that you can define the structure of the signature for different departments in your company, for all users, and create a template and things like that. And there are lots of projects related to migration from a network shared drives to SharePoint, migration from RDS to Citrix for creating a virtual profile for users to use shared applications. And by doing the project, you add some values. You say, okay, by doing this project, we will save half an hour human time per person in a week for everybody, or we will increase the quality of access to the shared drives because it's highly available, it's in the cloud, you don't have to be in the office and things like that. So you always add a value by doing projects. To all my friends, if you want to grow in IT support, I say, from help desk to infrastructure engineer, you have to do some projects. It's fine if your company doesn't have the opportunity for you to do the project. You can get benefit from Azure, AWS, IBM, and all the other cloud providers. They will give you credit as well. You can spin up a service, storage, databases, all sorts of applications in a free trial. and just play around, smash them, break things, and then you will gain some sort of confidence and some sort of experience based on labs. Then when you become confident, then you can approach to your team and involve in more projects. Well, finally, that's the end of the video. And for gift, I provided you guys the list of some useful tools. Don't forget to get help from these tools. Microsoft has two brilliant tools. Number one is Microsoft 365 uninstall support tool. When you uninstall application, some of the files remaining in file paths or registry keys or services. When you use that tool, it will completely wipe out and remove that application. Microsoft Support and Recovery Assistant, that was for removing an application. 365 for supporting all the 365 applications. And pretty much every provider, every hardware provider like Intel, Dell, HP, you can download the tool, the support tool from their website and update the drivers. I am wishing you all the very best in your interview. If you've got any question or if you want me to provide more scenarios, please ask me the question in the comment. I will try to create another video very soon. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you.